talking about flying because, well, you'll get in a second. City Dole Home Wizards, we're all about helping you enjoy those spaces you call home inside and outside, and maybe that just maybe means when you have your eggs for breakfast like I did this morning, you could do it as easily as walking into your backyard, grabbing some fresh eggs from the family pet, the chicken. Chickens in the city? It is steadily growing in popularity all over, including around Los Angeles. But how do you do it? Why do you do it? Are the neighbors going to like this? Well, the woman is with me is a woman who's very serious about it. Her name is Naomi Montacre, and she's a farmer in Portland with her Naomi's Organic Farm Supply. I'm calling her the Chick's Chick. Thanks for being here, Naomi.
Hi, how are you doing
Hi,
today?
Good. So tell us, I'm so intrigued by you knowing this was your vision. You always wanted to farm.
I figured that out after I actually moved to New York City, and then after living there for 5 years, or in the midst of that, I realized that I really like nature and plants a lot, and my husband and I ended up moving out to Oregon and farmed, and I ended up breaking my foot working for one of the farms through no fault of theirs, and we ended up moving into Portland, and I ended up getting involved with city agriculture as well as rural, and I've been working with people on their backyard chickens and farm chickens for about 4 years now.
And it seems like it really is growing in popularity.
Oh, it's huge, yeah. Already this year I think we've sold a couple thousand chicks, and we're just one drop in the bucket of places around town and outside of town that sell baby chicks. So it's definitely a very strong, well-loved movement.
But, and doing it in the city, it just seems so intriguing to me. And I'm wondering, first of all, I found out that L.A. is a chicken-friendly city. Who knew? Apparently you can raise an unlimited amount of chickens as long as they're at least 20 feet within the borders of the owner's residence, although another community called Glendale, you can only have 12 chickens. So I guess it just depends city by city.
Portland's got to catch up to you. We've got 3 chickens without a permit, but there's a lot of people that get a very inexpensive permit for more, but that's excellent. We are on the border of another town called Milwaukee, different than Wisconsin, but they allow up to 50 chickens without a permit.
Wow.
But then it kind of varies in the towns outside of Portland as far as whether they consider themselves to be bigger cities than rural and whether they allow chickens or not, but that seems to keep changing in favor of chickens and backyard goats and ducks.
Yeah. But, instantly, for people who are in the city, you're thinking green acres. You're thinking, are you kidding? I'm not sure if I want my neighbors to be having chickens and I'm hearing them making noises in the middle of the night.
Oh, in the nighttime, they're totally quiet. They can't see after dark, so they're very very timely little pets, basically. They go to bed at dusk, they put themselves to sleep, and you just close them in so that they're secure from predators. And they don't make any noise during the night. And when you don't have to have a rooster to have eggs. So they will sometimes chat during the day before or after they're laying an egg. They can get pretty excited, but it's a really cute noise and much quieter than a dog would ever be. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
And you name your chickens, don't you?
We do. It's true. Every once in a while you'll hear from someone that doesn't name theirs, but pretty much everybody that comes in here ends up naming their chickens, and they all have really unique little personalities, and sometimes people will try to pick certain breeds to have a friendlier personality, but it really is across the board as far as what little characters they end up being, and you can definitely have really beautiful chicken coops, too, so a lot of people make really, really beautiful chicken coops that are a real asset to their yard and very well loved by their neighbors.
So this could be something that's attractive, that's sustainable, and sanitary.
Definitely, yes. People make really beautiful chicken coops from new materials and also recycled materials. There's a lot of different designs in books and online, and people just also make them up or have a craftsperson come and build them a beautiful coop. And they can be extremely tidy. Basically, they compost their own waste, so you have something fabulous for your garden later on, but because of their nature of scratching and kicking everything around, they'll actually do their own composting as long as they have enough space in their coop. So.
And do they ever try to fly away? Do you clip their wings, or how does that work?
They can, yeah. Some people that have bigger yards and don't have plants they're worried about the chickens eating, because if you have them in a vegetable garden at prime time, they'll think that everything you're growing there is for them. But there are people that have areas to let them out, and sometimes they will clip their wings, but if they're really happy in a yard, they'll usually stay there. They can fly sometimes as high as 5 or more feet. So some people will have a 6-foot fence or will have them fully enclosed just so no hawks or other predators can get in, as well as another concern.
Oh, yeah, that would be scary. We have a lot of that. And how many eggs are they cranking out every week or every day, or how does that work?
They can lay up to every 25 hours. So their time of day will shift. They lay the most when there's the most sunlight. So you guys are down at a lower latitude, which means you have longer days, more of the year round, and obviously lots of sunshine. So for us, it gets really dark in the wintertime, and they'll definitely stop laying for at least 2 or 3 months. And for you have a lot more days that are around 14 hours, which is really ideal for them for laying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest thing for them is daylight as far as the eggs. And they have about 4,000 ova, which they can lay. They won't lay that many eggs in their lifetime, but the first 2 to 3 years are the most productive, and then it'll taper off, and they can live into like a cat-dog age range.
Aw. And you just feed them vegetable scraps, is that right?
You feed them a balanced chicken feed, too. They love fruits and vegetable scraps from your kitchen and your garden. They're a really good advertisement for eating your greens, basically. And then you just also feed them. There are a lot of organic and conventional also chicken feeds available that have a good balanced mix of carbohydrates and protein and calcium for their egg laying. And they eat a little bit of grit that acts as teeth in their gizzard and a little oyster shell, and they're super easy maintenance and really inexpensive.
Mm-hmm. Now, just like we take our cats and dogs to the vet, I mean, I'm guessing that chickens can get sick.
This is true. We have a couple great avian vets up here, and it's basically just a good idea to call around and, or if there's some chicken groups in the LA area, for example, and seeing what local vets see birds, so you have a backup of who to call. And, but yeah, otherwise they're pretty hardy animals, and not too many things go wrong with them, so.
Is it possible, you hear about, I'm just learning this. Is it possible to get sick from your chicken?
No, we haven't had any people ever get sick from their chickens. Especially when you have it in your own backyard, you're taking such good care of them, and you are the one that's in charge of their house and making that a beautiful, healthy place for them. And we haven't had any problems with that at all.
Boy, who knew? It really is popular. In fact, I found out there's a group called the Hollywood Beverly Hills Backyard Poultry Meetup.
Ooh, excellent.
And they get together, they talk chicken over chicken.
Well, there are so many fabulous breeds, too. It can get extremely addictive because there's just this whole rainbow spectrum of different breeds with different laying traits and all these gorgeous feather patterns and personalities, and there are little bantam chickens that are different breeds that are smaller size of that same breed.
And how much is a chicken?
Chickens generally, if you were to go to a more rural farm store, you might find them for a couple bucks, but here in Portland, they can go anywhere from $3.99 to $7.99 or more, depending on what breed they are, if they were from a hatchery or if they're from a local breeder. And basically just thinking about it as if you're getting the chicken that you want, the breed that you want, or from someone you're really excited about, then it's less expensive often than a nice coffee drink or, definitely less expensive than a nice lunch. So
you must be eating a lot of eggs.
We do eat quite a good amount of eggs. Yeah, we have ducks, too. And the ducks are really prolific layers. We have a khaki Campbell and 2 Indian runners. So, yeah.
And the different kind of chicks that you raise, do they have different tasting eggs, or is it always the same variety?
Eggs generally all taste the same to us, but there's a lot of different color patterns on the eggs. So there's really cute little bantam eggs that are still quite big for how small the chicken is. And then there are Americanas that are known as Easter eggers that lay a greenish-blue-colored egg. And there are dark brown and coppery-colored eggs. And that's probably the visual part is the most beautiful part. But otherwise, the eggs just generally have a really nice golden, orangey yolk and are just really delicious.
And I understand that while they love the sun, they also need some shade, right?
This is true.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes. They definitely need shade. They, interestingly, can get more heat stress than they can cold. So temperatures over 85 or 90 can be stressful for them if there's shade. But definitely having a little fan out also would be really great. Just so there's some nice airflow moving would be the best thing in the summer when it gets hotter, and having ample water around, which can be as simple as a bucket.
Fun.
For them.
Well, what a great eye-opening experience. I think it's something that a lot of people might want to try to save money, to kind of get sustainable, to feel like you're taking over your own economy, and connecting with nature.
Yes, and you definitely learn things like all the different parts of our language, such as pecking order or being broody, as far as how many words relate to their behaviors are pretty special, too.
Thank you, Naomi Montacre. You can go to the website, naomisorganic.blogspot.com. Naomi, you rock. Thanks so much for making us smarter about raising chickens.
Thank you, Cindy. I look forward to hearing about more Hollywood chicken wizards.
You got it. All right. Well, next Saturday, the fun continues here on Home Wizards. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Let's say give it up to our troops. Thanks for serving our country. And until next Saturday, the key's under the mat. Bye-bye.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.